Hello and welcome to Radiant Freedom Digital Marketing. This is the recording of Lesson 2, Part 1 from our TGI SEO Fridays webinar series with Odin Xavier of the Canadian marketing team, and was recorded on Friday, March the 23rd. Once again, I'll include links in the description below to Odin's channel and website, and I highly recommend you to check him out.
Jason, welcome back for another SEO Friday. Really do appreciate having you here. And last week we went through some pretty awesome SEO foundations, and this week I'm hoping to progress that process.
Yeah, awesome, and it's great to be back again for yet another session. This will be our third SEO TGI Fridays session. So without any further ado, because we got a lot of materials actually go through today. And so today what we'll be covering is backlinks and what they are, how to get them, what they do for you. And we'll be looking at some of the positive and negative factors of backlinks, as well as we'll also be taking a look at the thing that backlinks do for you, which is authority. And we'll also be trying a live demo of the Moz Toolbar so we can take a look at the authority ratings of some websites. And that was the thing I was having some difficulty troubleshooting earlier, so hopefully it'll be working in time for that live demo. So first we'll take a look at what backlinks are. And for some of you who have been here with part 1 of this series, this will be a bit of a review. So what they are is, a backlink is a link leading to your website from another website. This is that other website's vote of confidence that the contents on your website are worthwhile. The more website authors who tell their audience the contents on your website are worthwhile and worth reading, the easier it is to get your website to move up the search rankings as you become seen by their algorithms as more of an authority on the topics you talk about. So now that we know what backlinks are and that they're a good thing, let's take a look at how do you get backlinks. So there's really a number of major ways to get them. I'll be looking at really 9 of them, giving you a brief summary of them here. So first one is you can, and this is really the easiest one and the one you have the most direct control over, is register your website on relevant directory websites. Now you can directly control this on most of them, as approval is generally automatic. Others, maybe that you have to go through an application process, in which case these are links that you can influence but may not necessarily directly control getting them. And second is you can add links to your website on all your social media profiles. This can also include profiles on forums, and other websites you're registered on and so on. And this again is something you generally will have direct control over if they have the option for you to add your link. For example, on your Facebook account, you can, if you created a fan page, you can add a link in the About section to your own website. So this again creates more backlinks leading into your website, generally from fairly high profile sites. Third is you can look for blogs or news sites that are willing to carry your articles as a guest writer and write an article for them to publish. Again, with the idea being that they'll include a link back to your website either in an About the Author section or within the text of the article itself. The fourth one is something you may not necessarily have direct control over getting links, but it's certainly something you can do to influence them, and that's publishing quality content on your own website consistently. The idea here is that in time, other website authors will start publishing content on their websites that references your contents and includes a link to your website when citing their sources. So this is more of a form of organic backlink growth, and does definitely boost the effectiveness of your work that you've already done, regardless of whether or not someone else decides to link to your work. So this means as you publish blog articles, people may or may not link to them, but if they do, then that helps to give you a good boost. Now the fifth thing is you can write a press release and send it to news sites and blogs, with the goal being that some of them will publish a story about you based on your press release. and then link back to your website in their story. Another method is you can do interviews, so that the author of, say, a reporter or a blogger might interview you, or someone who does video or podcasting, and included in that is that they'll add links to your website, either in their article they wrote about you or in a description section of their publication, depending on how it works. So that, again, generates links leading into your site. Another method is you can accept guest articles. And this is actually something we talked about in our last webinar, and we'll be touching on this again here. So this is both a great source of content for your website, but also can expose you to new audiences, as the guest writer will often likely want to promote their article on your website to their own audience. So they'll likely link to your article either within their own website, blog, or within their social media channels. And this is really a win-win situation, as it both exposes you to your guest's audience, boosts your credibility that your others are willing to publish on your own website, and exposes your guest to your audience and gives both you and your guests more credibility. Another one is be active on social media and share all your articles to your social media channels, since each of those articles is technically another link leading back into your website. Plus, also, as you're active on social media, that creates the potential for your contents to get shared by other followers of you there, which again creates additional links leading back into your website. And the ninth one is make it easy for your readers to share your contents to their own social media audiences. And this really means make sure that you have social share buttons on your blog articles. Now, if you're using a content management system such as WordPress, then there are many, many different options in the form of plugins that you can install on there that make this easy for you, as all the hard work has already been done. All you have to do is install the plugin and set it up to show up on your blog articles.
That's awesome, Jason. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So I know that was a lot of content to go through. So now that we know how you can get backlinks, let's take a deeper dive into what backlinks actually do for you. So
how much time should I be spending on this on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, out of curiosity? So, I mean, you're setting the foundation up for us. You're giving us the steps that we need to do in order to make our marketing within the next 12 to 18 months much more solid, along with all the other initiatives. How much time should we spend? I mean, I know how much time I recommend we spend on marketing initiatives, but how much should we put on the side for this, for creating the initial setup and then outsourcing it so that we only have to do the work once?
say the short answer is it really depends. If you're just starting out, you may need to spend more time on it, as you'll have to get, of those, looking back at these 9 different ones here, the first 2 are, numbers 1, 2, and 8 are options that you have direct control over. So the others, say 3, sorry, I have a toolbar getting in the way of one of them. So yeah, numbers 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, those are things that you can influence, but you don't really have direct control over. Same with number 9. These are all things that you influence. So these will be things that'll start to happen more and more as your audience grows. So initially, when you're starting out, if you have a small audience, you might need to spend more personal time growing your audience by doing, the backlink building work yourself. Once you have a larger audience, they might start doing more of the work for you through guests, asking to appear on your site, asking to interview you, followers sharing your contents, and so on.
Cool. So it does depend, but I mean, we should be spending about how much in general to move this forward?
I would say probably want to dedicate at least about an hour a week
to it.
Okay. So
So the 30 minutes that we spent here with you, going back and then implementing everything we're learning.
yes,
Perfect. And then when we reach a point where we realize we want you to do it, we can call you.
exactly. And then
Okay. Okay, good.
yeah, then I'll be contributing my hour or so per week, depending, like how much time depends again on what level of SEO service plan you go for. So, and that's something that we can,
Yes.
that's something I'll go into with people, one-on-one who are, wanting to get that extra help on their SEO initiatives
Okay.
and look at what plans are on offer, what fits your budget, and what's going to really get you the results you need.
Perfect.
So, taking a look into what backlinks do for you. So part of the formula for determining where your website ranks in search engines is how authoritative it is. And we'll get into authority, a little bit further along. But for now, suffice to say, the more authoritative your website is, generally, the the easier it will be for you to get your website to rank higher in search engines. And authority is determined in general. We'll get into more detail in this later by basically how many other websites link to your website. And these are what's known as backlinks. Now, not all backlinks are created equal, so some are better than others. So we'll first look at factors that'll increase the value of a backlink to your website. Now, first of them is if it's a high authority website linking to yours, then that backlink will contribute more to your authority growing. If it covers the same topics as your website, which is known as relevance, then again, it'll pass more authority along to your website. Also, if it just generally has high quality contents on your website, more credibility will generally be given to that website's outbound links. So, meaning that high quality content websites linking to yours will generally give you more authority than others. So, essentially, these factors will give you much stronger links and do much more to boost your own website's authority. These benefits are cumulative and on a gradient scale. So, the more these factors are present, and the stronger they are, the more they'll help you. For example, a website that covers the same topics as yours does, has very high authority, and has never linked to your website before, and has high quality contents on it, will pass the most authority possible from a single link. So, for example, if a website covers topics on only part of the site, say you run a healthcare company and the site's a general news site that has a healthcare news section, then the relevance will be reduced. But if the site is a health blog and only covers health, then as your website also covers health, then you'll get the maximum possible relevance from that link, and it'll give you the highest possible boost. Next, we'll take a look at factors that reduce the value of a backlink. Now, if the website has low authority, then it won't have as much authority to pass to yours. If it covers different topics than your website does, then again, that'll reduce the value of the links. If its contents are just generally low quality, it'll again be given less credibility, so therefore less value from its links. Also, if it has many spammy links on it, then again, that'll generally reduce or even negate the value of their links. And also, if it is linked to your website before, then subsequent links, so second, third, fourth, and so on, will again have reduced value to them. And at some point, search engines will just stop, considering, any links. Let's say if they've linked to your website 10, 20 times or something like that, then at some point, those links will just stop passing anything to you other than traffic, which is still a good thing. So there's no real downside to having a site linking to your site multiple times. It's just the benefits as far as SEO go do eventually start to dwindle. So like the positive factors, these also run on a gradient scale and are cumulative. So the more of them that are present, uh, they'll act together to reduce the value of the link into your site. And the stronger the negative factors are, the more pronounced their effect will be. So going back to the health example website, so the healthcare website, if your site is linking to you as an auto repair site, so in other words, zero relevance, then that would only give you a minimal benefits, even if it was a very high authority website. Say maybe it was a a well-known company like Napa Auto Parts is linking to your site, even though they're a well-known company, so their website's going to have a high authority, not going to pass much of that authority to you, just because there's zero relevance between auto parts and healthcare. Also, likewise, if the site has low authority, it'll only have a small amount to pass on to you. And same goes for if it has low quality contents and spammy links. And again, as I mentioned before, if the site's linked to you many times, then each additional link has diminishing value to it in terms of authority. So they'll boost your rankings less and less. So these sites, again, they'll still can help. It's just the help could be very minimal. The next, though, these are the kind of backlinks that you really want to avoid at all costs. These are the ones that can backfire on you. If you're getting comment spam linking to your site, if you have links added to known spam websites, or you're getting links added through the use of hacking to put them onto unwitting websites.
What's a spam website? I don't. Did you go through that?
Basically, those would be websites that have been flagged or blacklisted as known to be delivering spam from their domain. So it could be form of spam emailing, or just having tons of links, or that's tied to comment spam on other websites, forums,
How do you
blogs, and
find out
so
if
on.
you're connecting with those or not?
One tool is Moz, does actually allow you to see where your links are coming from and see what quality of links they are. So if you're getting, let's say, a site that is definitely would fall on this blacklist of avoid them, then you can take efforts to try and get your site contents removed from them. And if not, you can also at least work with search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo to make them aware that that these are bad links and you're trying to get them removed, but that the site owners are refusing to do so and not cooperating with you. In which case, they may simply have those links simply have zero effect on you. But these are the links that can get you into trouble, though, as particularly if you hire a shady SEO company that's promising you, say, 100 backlinks a day or 300 backlinks, any of those kind of things. That falls under the category of what's called black hat SEO, which we've talked about in previous webinars. But basically, those are people that use questionable tactics, try to trick the system, and they'll be the ones that'll use things like comment spam to generate those links. They'll put your link on known spam sites. They'll basically use spamming, potentially even hacking. And with spam, that's not necessarily going to get you into the biggest of trouble, other than the main area where that can get you into trouble with is essentially, first of all, you're linking to people in ways that it's totally not relevant to the conversation. So it's not adding any value. It's not bringing people in that have any real interest in your stuff. So it's not going to benefit you, and again, can harm you. The main area is that search engines don't like spam to trick their system, so they'll tend to penalize websites that engage in spam. Now, also in Canada, there is the added thing, if the spam involves email spam, that there is the Canadian anti-spam legislation, or CASL for short, where you can, as of last year, get potentially sued by people that don't like receiving spam, as well as the government can also potentially fine you, and those fines can be, for repeat offenders, can get quite steep. For individuals, it can be up to $1 million fines, and for corporations, it can be up to 10 million per incident. So you definitely want to avoid this, in other words. And same thing for hacking. issues from that can go from anywhere from your website being blacklisted as an attack site, which basically means that it's pretty much going to kill the value of your domain at that point. So forget about SEO unless you can get your reputation cleaned up first. And second thing is hacking is, of course, illegal, so that can again lead you open to getting sued or fined or even jailed if you get caught doing it and it gets traced back to you. So these are, in other words, the things to avoid, and these are the pitfalls that people can run into when they're trying to do SEO and get into trouble. So if anyone has any questions on these pitfalls, or do you want to move on to authority?
I'm loving it.
All right, awesome. So authority is something we have previously touched on, mainly to give you the definitions. Now, for those of you who were not on part 1 of this series, or that were on it but would like to get a review, we'll just quickly go over what authority is. It's basically a ranking system that both Google and Moz use in order to rate how authoritative a website is, which is basically how many quality sites have decided that your site's contents are worthwhile and linked to it. So first we'll take a look at the Google system, which is domain rank and page rank, which is a ranking system Google uses to internally determine how authoritative a website is, to help it decide how high a website should rank in searches it's deemed relevant for. And basically, in short, the more websites that link to your website or web page, in the case of website, the higher your domain rank will be, or in the case of a web page, the higher your page rank for that individual page will be. And Google rates it on a scale of up to 5. And the main drawback with Google's ranking system is they only publish it maybe every 6 months to a year or so, so it's not frequent enough for it to really be useful in determining how effective your activities are. So that's why Moz came up with their own rating system, which is designed to, as closely as possible, approximate the Google system. And they called theirs domain authority and page authority, which domain authority is the equivalent of Google's domain rank, and page authority is equivalent of Google's page rank. So what the domain rankings do is it ranks the links to your domain as a whole. So for example, all links leading into any page that belongs to, say, CanadianMarketingTeam.com. And page authority would be how authoritative each individual page, in other words, how many times someone links to, for example, your home page or a particular blog article on your site.
So this really ramps up when you, so basically, like anyone, you can't expect to be winning a marathon in the beginning, but you're building up the stamina in order to carry the marathon on.
Yes, exactly. And the way Moz works it, and which I believe also approximates the way Google works it, is it operates on a logarithmic scale. So the higher ranked you get, the more links and higher quality links it takes to move you up to the next ranking level. Now, Moz just chose to use a scale of 0 to 100, which gets the added benefit that it also gives you a more precise picture, so you can see more precisely how you rank compared to other sites, as well as see more precisely when you're moving up, so you can see when you, let's say, move up from, say, a 23 to a 24, or a 45 to a 47, for example. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to actually break off into Chrome. So I'm going to actually change the screen share over to a desktop share so that you'll be able to see my browser. Now I'll be doing this in Chrome because that's the only browser I know of that the Moz toolbar works in.
So we have about 3 minutes left. Do you think we can do this in about 3 minutes?
We should be able to do it in just a couple of minutes. Now, also, just quickly, if anyone, say, on the on the webinar would like to volunteer to have your site taken a look at, then you're welcome to to give me your website address, and we'll take a look and see what the Moz rankings are for your website.
Oh, let's try Canadian Marketing Team. I'll be selfish.
Yeah, sure, we'll do that. And then,
because it is something that we're working on. So
yeah,
yeah.
so what we'll do is go over here and then just give it a moment for your site on the Moz bar to load up, and it should. Yeah, and this is the issue that I was troubleshooting before. Hopefully it'll, but it wasn't showing your domain and page rankings or your authority rankings in here like it should. So, yeah, I'm able to take. Oh, here we are. So no, it's just showing some other general information, unfortunately.
It's
So,
pretty cool.
yeah, but if we went to Moz
Want to try a
itself,
different one?
now it's going to go to the Moz site itself.
Yeah, that's a really cool tool.
Yeah, it is, because it gives you really great information. Yeah, so here now you can see the stuff. So, for example, Moz, this, their homepage has a page authority of 90, a domain authority of 92.
Page
So,
authority of 90. Wow.
yeah, so they're a very, very
Holy.
highly ranked website and very respected site. So if you're getting a link from, let's say, Moz decides to write an article about you and link to your website, that's going to be a very valuable link, especially sites like yours and mine, Odin, and myself that are dealing marketing, which is generally, which is irrelevant to what Moz does as well. Then that's going to be also a pretty high relevancy link as well. So that would insert quite a bit of juice onto our sites.
That's awesome. That's some great goals. Really great goals.
Yeah, for sure. And so basically, unfortunately, we're not seeing yours right now, but
no big deal. We'll figure it out.
I am
And
logged
this
in.
is a free download?
Yes. You do need to have a Moz account,
wow.
but you can get a free account on Moz. So tell you what we'll do is I'll actually, there is actually an area where I can
send a request to me.
Yeah, so there is actually an area on Moz where I can, it's going to go onto their.
Maybe put the Moz affiliate code along with your YouTube page this time. That'd be great.
Yeah, we can do that. And and what we'll do is, since unfortunately we're getting a little bit of technical issues with this, what we'll do is start, next our next webinar up with a live demo of Moz before we'll get into our next
perfect
topic, which
will be happening in a couple weeks.
Yeah, which will be happening in 2 weeks, which is looking at silo structure.
Cool.
Now, this one here I don't think is going to be quite as content heavy as today's webinar was. There was just a lot of material we had to go over with backlinks, and that's only scratching the surface. We will be having full lessons covering many of these things and more in more detail, including detailed information about how to get backlinks from each of those different methods we talked about, and so on. So
perfect.
So what we'll do is give a more detailed demonstration of Moz. I'll actually go directly into the Moz website itself to take a look at authority rankings. It's just going to take me longer than we have right now to remember where that tool is in there, because it's a little bit tricky to find sometimes.
Well, thanks so much for today's session, Jason. I know that we had 30 minutes planned, and I look forward to our next session in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a real pleasure once again giving these sessions, and also I did add my email and website in here, so if you would like to get one-on-one support on your SEO, feel free to email me at jasonross@radiantfreedom.com.
Yeah, you do a free SEO review and going through all of the main issues that they currently have, and you give a report afterwards. So absolutely worth it. Take them up on the offer, guys.
Yeah, for sure. And
until the offer's gone, and then you won't be able to take them up on it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you in a
Yeah.
couple of weeks, Jason.
Yeah. So you can either go there or go to my website, radiantfreedom.com, get more information, use the contact link, contact us page there to get a hold of me as well. Either way, you'll get you to the same inbox. And as Owen said, yeah, I'm happy to do a one-on-one session to go over your SEO needs and what strategy and plan will be the best one to get you the best results, within your budget. So if there's any final questions, also if at this point we can actually
Okay. We'll talk
stop
to you
the
again
share.
soon, everyone. Bye.
Once again, thank you for watching our webinar. If you found it helpful, make sure you hit that thumbs up button to let us know. If you have any questions or feedbacks on our webinar, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. If you're not subscribed, be sure and subscribe to get updates of more awesome content coming up. I also recommend you check out Odin's channel, link in his description down below. Also, the schedule for upcoming TGI SEO Fridays webinars is in the description down below, along with the link so you can attend them live on Zoom. I highly recommend you get to them live, as you'll have a chance to ask questions and get them answered live on the webinar. Remember, you're awesome, so shine your awesomeness for the world to see. This has been Jason from Radiant Freedom. Bye for now.